You are listening to Words with a Mad Coach. I am Mad Coach. I am Mad Coach. I am. I am Mad Coach. I am Mad Coach. I am. You are listening to Words with a Mad Coach. UFC 257. Let's talk about Matt Frevola. I had the privilege of meeting Matt 2017. One of his teammates, Michael Cora, was fighting on a show in Virginia. I had a teammate, James Quigg, fighting on the same card, and we ended up meeting these guys from Gracie, Tampa. So let's talk about his fight from last night. Late notice fight, change of opponents because of some shenanigans going on. Let's talk about something that I hear a lot. I hear it from people who do tournament fighting or tournament jiu-jitsu or tournament anything. And the one thing they always talk about is that they can't really prepare for all of their opponents, especially if it's a big tournament. You really don't know who you're going to get from round to round. You might know who you're getting in the opening round, depending on the type of tournament it is. Matt had this opponent that he really didn't prepare for. And, depending on how much time he had to make adjustments, a day, 2 days, whatever it was, it all depends on how well him and his team absorb content and can make those changes. Looking at the fight, I had to use my own criteria. We say that the 5 things that across the board in every technique: posture, position, timing, distance, and balance. If you eliminate one of those things, you can still win. But if you eliminate 2 or more, it makes it very difficult. So watching this fight, the 2 things that I noticed that really were not there for Matt a lot was distance. He threw a lot of strikes out of range. The other element was positioning. I felt like at the time watching it, where Matt needed to be was actually in fighting range, clinch range, because he landed shots there. He landed shots that actually stunned his opponent. Whenever he got back out to long range or really close range on the ground, Matt struggled. Even though he survived those moments, he had to really work hard on defense. Meeting Matt and his teammates, the one thing that I kind of took away from them is you go get what you want. You want to be somewhere, you don't hold back and you attack. But at the same time, watching the fight last night, you can't really attack if you don't land anything. You can't attack if you don't threaten the situation, because your opponent's not going to buy into it. And it was obvious that his opponent could just go in and take him down at will. And one other thing, his opponent was able to get off first a lot. Put that weight on Matt while he was on the ground. When Matt tried to stand up, he returned him back to the ground. And Matt had to create all these scrambles to get out of the situation. Again, that's a lot of effort and a lot of work. You can call it what you want, fight IQ or whatever. Part of fight IQ is being prepared. He just wasn't prepared for this particular opponent. Prepared to fight, yes, absolutely, because it went the distance, and also because that's just the nature of the man. The guy was physically stronger than Matt in the upper body. That was kind of evident. And then Matt came out throwing these spinning kicks, which are energy expensive. That's not the range where he needed to be fighting. When he was in clinch range, I'm not going to say that the other guy didn't land some shots as well, but I'm just saying it was a little closer in the output. Given the old eyeball test, I can clearly see that Matt had short punches, short elbows, some short knees. The other guy was only really throwing knees inside the clinch. And if Matt could have forced that situation a little bit more, and I know it was scary because he would have had to be up against the cage to do it, and that's where, a lot of the takedown situations were coming from. But Matt was already defending those, and he would have made the guy work even harder and landed some strikes. Even when the guy caught Matt's leg and Matt landed that beautiful right hook swinging motion that cut him a little bit. It just showed that the closer Matt could get to this guy and maintain it, the more damage he was likely to do. Matt's a strong guy. It's just that he didn't get enough opportunities to be there. Again, when you have an opponent you haven't seen before, you're not sure of, you haven't felt that energy before, you mistakenly give that person the credit as being better than you. Yeah, you can be strong in the moments, but at the same time, how long can it last? Anyway, that's my 2 cents on what I saw in that fight. maybe this is something that Matt can learn from. Definitely something that I could take back to my own team and teach them how to make adjustments in real time. Hey, look, I'm Coach Sess. You've had words with the Mad Coach.